We are going to talk about boundaries today, and I can hear you. I can hear you rolling your eyes. That's what I used to always do. People would say boundaries. It sounded so serious and like, I don't know. I just sounded kind of mean, or you may have different ideas about it. I'd love for you to comment below and let me know. But I would just be like, oh, are you serious? Boundaries. But you guys, it's so important, and for both your business, for your life with your kids. They're just important and they don't have to be like so like you might be thinking. So let's hop right in. Hi, my name is Kate Wood. I am a life coach, a health coach, a personal trainer, a mom of five. And I used to kind of hate boundaries, but now I think they're a super good thing. It's really hard to operate without them, actually. So if you find like, I feel like lately in life, I'm just really resentful of people, I'm getting angry a lot, maybe getting angry at your kids or frustrated in your business, it could be that you're not setting some appropriate boundaries. I know, again, sounds so serious. Don't roll your eyes. And a little bit of tweaking could really make all the difference. So let's think about this. You have a gorgeous mansion in the middle of a very dangerous city. You have invested every penny that you have into this dream home, but the city around it is full of crime, dangerous people. Would you just like leave it wide open? Probably not. You'd keep some money aside and build yourself a nice big brick wall, right? And you need a gate because you would need to get in and out. And boy, if you have a giant mansion, I hope you have like someone to help you clean. I wish I had someone to help me clean. I digress. I'm sorry. I get distracted sometimes. You would have you'd have a fence around it. You would be protecting it because you're like, this is my life savings. This is everything I have. Well, sweetie pie, your energy, your body, your values, that's almost all you got, right? That is so much more important than a mansion. Your time, all these things. So why would we just leave it wide open and just be like, well, I don't really agree with it, but just take whatever you want because we have no walls, right? Um, so it can cause major problems when we don't have them, and we do end up feeling resentful because we know like this is crossing a boundary. Something is going against my values, but I'm allowing it to happen anyway. And we get mad either at ourselves or other people. So when we have clear boundaries, um, we are clear on our values and we're acting in alignment with them. And then we're also teaching other people how to treat us, which is a nice thing. You might be like, wow, just whatever. I don't take myself that seriously. Other people actually want to know how to treat you. They really do. They don't like to be confused. And then if you say yes to something and then you're like mad the whole time, it brings in a lot of confusion, right? We don't need that in our lives. We want clarity and peace. We don't want all that confusion and overwhelm, right? No way. So let me know in the comments, how do you feel about boundaries? Love them, hate them, you're rolling your eyes? Let me know. All right, you guys. So the reason I used to roll my eyes is I thought that boundaries were kind of mean or selfish. Like you only set them when you're real mad. And I think that's a really bad way to look at it. Normally we're mad because we don't set the right boundaries. Um, so maybe using some different language around it, right? Like you're putting safeguards around your values. You might really value your time. You might really value your energy. You might really value how people speak to you. All those are great things, and they're absolutely not unreasonable. Um, and again, we kind of talked on this. We're just teaching other people how we expect to be treated. Um, and you guys, we can set boundaries. Often we're like afraid, like, I wouldn't know what to say. I would sound like such a jerk. Um, we can speak the truth in love. We're just stating what we need, right? We're not calling them a turkey or anything like that. And we can find nice ways to do it so that we're just calm. We're stating what we need. We're not angry or frustrated or flustered, right? Um, we can do it. You and I, we can do it. Um, and this is the other thing. I heard this. I wish I could remember exactly where I heard it. Um, but we set the boundary. We say what we need or what we intend to do. And then we let our actions speak for it. So a lot of times, kids are great at this. We say, no more snacks till dinner. And then they keep asking and asking. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten in in forever. I didn't like lunch. Ah. And then, instead of saying like, I already told you, or maybe even just walking away, we're like, well, I don't know. We wiffle waffle around, right? We're like, well, if we tell someone, it really doesn't work for me to meet with you at this time. They're like, oh, but please, I really need, it's going to be so fun. Da, da, da. And we're like, well, okay, I guess so. We're letting our actions do the talking. And what we're telling them is that boundary I told you didn't matter because you going did. Okay. Your actions are speak louder than words. And so we're going to state the boundary so people know where we stand. We're not trying to be confusing or, elusive or passive aggressive. We're just going to state what we will or won't do. And then we're going to let our actions do the talking. If we say we're going to do something, we'll do it. And if we say we're not, we're just not. We don't have to discuss it or apologize or all this stuff, right? It does not have to be so complicated, but I think we make it complicated because we're nervous. So tip number 1, just know that boundaries can be a super good thing, both for you and the person who you're working with, right? All right, so let's move on. A lot of times we think about boundary as like keeping people out, limiting other people. But the funny thing is sometimes we actually set boundaries and we keep the good away from us. And that can be a big problem. And you might be like, that sounds dumb. But listen to these, and I bet you might recognize yourself in a couple of these. So one is like refusing to accept help. This was me for the longest time. I may still have that tendency, but like, can I make you a meal? You're sick. And I'd be like, no, I've got it. I just wanted to be so strong and self-sufficient. When, I was a young mom with young kids, I should have been like, yes, thank you. What a blessing you are to me. But I just really want to prove I didn't need help. Why? I don't reconsider. If you're always one of those people that's like, no, I'm fine. Just think about, it might be, someone might love to bless you. And, we want to allow other people to do for us, to help us sometimes. It's okay. We're human. We're not robots. We're not, something else. I don't know what. Machines that don't need that love and that support and that community. Another one is not accepting compliments. Is this you? Or are you just like, yeah, totally. I wish I was. There's a Midwestern tendency. If someone compliments your clothes, if someone told me, I like your shirt, Kate, my tendency would be to say, I got it at the consignment store, or I got it on sale. I did get this at the consignment store. I love consignment shopping. But, or like, oh, I've had this forever. Instead of just saying, you know what you could say? Thank you so much. We always feel like we have to add stuff. We don't have to add stuff. We could say, I heard someone get a compliment, and I was like, so surprised. I was like, totally, I don't know, pushed back on my heels. They said, thank you so much. I received that. And I was like, wow, that's really bold. But like, I felt like she was, saying that she acknowledged it, and she was letting the other person know that she was like taking it, like, thank you. She was honoring the other person. And I feel like when I say, oh, it's nothing or whatever, I'm almost taking away from what the person said and taking away from the person and their intent. So, long story long, can you accept compliments gracefully? Another thing, and this is a deeper issue, y'all. This could take some life coaching. Pushing away good things. Might be a closer relationship. It might be success in your business or, growth in your ministry, more money. And a lot of mindset can go behind this. And you might be like, Kate, I would never do that. But when you get money, extra money, do you spend it right away? Could you be pushing away a good thing? As you're about to level up, like if someone's like complimenting you and saying like, oh my gosh, you're amazing at this. I'm so excited for your business growing. And all of a sudden, like, you stop doing the work, you stop showing up, you get like intimidated. Are you pushing out a good thing? Do you really want like a closer marriage? But as you start to ease for it, you're like, oh, nope. You might be pushing away a good thing. And those are great things to kind of peel away the layers and figure out why. Because I want you to have the most amazing life possible. Don't push away blessings because it makes you nervous. We can change and we can bring those things in. So step number 2, let in the positive. And I'm giving you homework this week. Are you excited? I dare you to accept a compliment gracefully. And that could just be saying thank you, and then you stop talking. You don't downgrade it at all. You just say, oh my gosh, thank you. That was really sweet of you to say. And then that's it. Does that sound revolutionary? Maybe you're awesome at that. If you are, congratulations. If you're like, Kate, oh my gosh, I'm pushing away some positive stuff. I don't know what's going on. I never thought of that. And you're like, I feel like I might need a coach to help me out with this. Awesome. I needed a coach to help me out with a lot of things, and it made my life a million times better, I promise. If you would like to talk with me about what life coaching looks like, how I work with clients, I'd love to get to know you better. Go to trajectorywellness.com/call, and we can set up a time to talk. It's super low key. I like to figure out where you are right now, where you'd like to go, and if I can help you get there. It's as simple as that. Let's move on to part 3. Sometimes I think we allow things in that we shouldn't, because somehow it means that we're a nice person or that we're like really generous. We feel like selfish if we're not gonna like give someone our time, give someone money, energy. Sometimes it's emotional energy. You know, that person who like you see the number come up on your phone and you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so draining. You have a choice whether you answer that call, sweetheart. Did you know that? It took me a long time to learn that. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have the emotional energy for this, so I will not answer right now because I can't bring my best. Right, but we end up feeling angry. We end up feeling kind of used. We're either mad at ourselves or we get mad at that other person. Why are they wasting my time? Well, I'm the one that chose to answer the call, right? And I'm also the one that didn't gracefully end the conversation. I just let it keep going, even though I was starting to get like, oh, this is going nowhere type of feeling. Maybe you never have those conversations. So that anger, that frustration, that like, oh, you're kind of using me. Those are all indications that your boundaries are being crossed. And guess who's responsible for upholding your boundaries? You are. I'm responsible for mine, right? You can't blame anybody else. We're the ones that need to uphold it. We're the ones that understand our values. We're the ones that understand our resources. We're the ones that have to do the boundaries. So if you value your time and you feel like people take advantage of you, it might be time to come up with some great ways to gracefully exit situations. Maybe it's a conversation when you're face-to-face with somebody. Maybe it's a phone call. You need to know how to end a phone call. You guys, if you are a work-at-home mom or a small business owner, you need to know how to end phone calls for sure. But even in personal calls, like, man, if I had learned how to gracefully exit sooner, it would have saved hours upon hours and so much frustration for me. Yes, and sometimes it means not picking up the phone. That can be your boundary right there. If you value the way people treat you and someone's yelling at you, they're talking to you disrespectfully, you absolutely have the right to say, you know what? I don't appreciate being yelled at. I will talk to you when you're no longer yelling or when you can talk calmly to me. You don't have to sit there and let someone yell at you. It could be a kid. It could be an adult. It doesn't matter. You teach people how you want to be treated. You could just say, you may not talk to me that way, and walk away. Let's talk later. Yes, you guys. And sometimes we don't keep boundaries on ourselves. I had never heard this concept before until recently in the ginormous book of boundaries. You can listen to it on audiobook. It's 10 hours long. My kids hate it. But I'm in charge of the radio. So when we fail to set boundaries on ourselves, we're not acting in alignment with our values. So it could mean letting work time bleeding into your personal time. Or maybe it's letting your personal time bleed into like, oh man, I really promised myself I'd get that email out today, but I stayed extra long at the pool. Sometimes that's okay. We're going to make choices, but if you're like, you know what, I need to set this boundary in order to be successful in multiple areas of my life, you may need to stick to it. And not change your mind. Again, let your actions speak for you, right? Oh man. So, and there could be a lot of underlying thoughts and beliefs that go into if you're failing to keep the boundaries on yourself. If you're like, oh, why do I keep saying I'm not going to eat these unhealthy foods, and then I go and do it? That could be mindset stuff. That could be some like habit change. I'm a behavior change specialist as well. I didn't mention that, but It could be, some tweaks there and some mindset, and then you can like get on your way, but you know how to set that boundary now so that you can be successful in taking care of your health, right? All these different things to think about. So you guys, let's recap our 3 points. Know that boundaries can be a really, really good thing. We want to let in the positive. We don't want to push it away anymore. And we want to set strong boundaries around the things that we value. And you may even sit down and journal a little bit about, like, what do I really value? Maybe if someone yells at you, you don't really care. For other people, like, you would be extremely offended and you'd be like, no way. Like, this makes me feel like garbage. I can't let this continue to happen. You don't deserve to feel like garbage. No, no, no. Okay, so yeah. I'm like, what point am I on? This is why I have notes here. So you guys, if you're like, oh, those boundaries, it sounds like a good idea, I just never know what to say. That was me. This is the good news. I put out a email each week to my email tribe with like tips and tricks and just things to think about, maybe things to journal on, just to help like support you in your journey and your mindset. And so this next week, I am going to do one. What did I name it? Scripts for common boundary situations. So it can be a starting point for you. Sometimes we can't even like think straight in the moment. So if we have that, oh my gosh, someone just complimented me, I'm going to say thank you. That was sweet of you to say. You could even practice it a few times, or you can personalize it, tweak it. But so it sounds like you, but like you know what to say, and you're not just like, oh, and then you let it happen. All of a sudden, all your time was sucked away, your emotional energy sucked away, and you're left feeling mad. We don't want that. So that is what is going to go into next week's email. If you want that, will you just message me the word script, SCRIPT. I don't always speak clearly. Direct message me that, and I will make sure that you get that next week because I think that will be hugely helpful. Sometimes we just need the words, right? I want to help you out with that. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week, we're going to do old stories that are keeping you overwhelmed. Let's kick those to the curb. We tell ourselves a lot of things. It needs to be true. It needs to be helpful. Take care. Thanks for joining me.